If you're tired of wasting hours in research and documentation as a UI UX designer, this video is for you. Because today we're putting NotebookLM to the test with the real use cases that could transform your workflow. In my last video, I showed you how UI UX designers are speeding up their design process with NotebookLM. So today we're actually building and testing all those use cases to see what this AI tool can really do for us. As you may already know, NotebookLM is an AI tool that helps on research analysis based on documentation you provided. And today we're testing the top 3 use cases for UI UX design. So let's start with one of the most time-consuming activities for all UI UX designers, which is analyzing user interview notes and transcripts. We usually have tons of notes to go through before figuring out patterns and potential design solutions. NotebookLM can help doing all of this faster. So let's open NotebookLM and start by creating a new notebook. Now let's just drag and drop all of our user interviews. I have 3 right now. So if I click them, I can see the entire document. But let's start asking the questions. And remember, you can pick the documents you want NotebookLM to use for your answers. So I'll make sure I have all my interview scripts selected with this button or any of the check marks. And now let's ask maybe, what are the key themes in these user interviews? After thinking for a few seconds, this is what we got. Number 1 is barriers to consistency, scheduling and fatigue. A primary challenge for all the interviewees is maintaining consistent attendance, largely due to external factors and fatigue, scheduling conflicts, low energy and tiredness. This sounds very accurate. Then we have motivation driven by visible change and internal well-being. And 3, frustration with tracking tools and attrition complexity. And going down here, it says you can think of the user's experience like trying to navigate a dense jungle. They know where they want to go and they have the energy to start, but their navigational tools are too bulky and confusing to use while simultaneously tracking, causing them to constantly lose their way or exhaust themselves on the process of tracking rather than the journey itself. Okay, the target audience I interviewed was family people that work 9 to 5. So this honestly sounds very accurate as well. Disclaimer here, this is AI, this is not a designer, so it is not perfect. And it has not been proven to be a replacement of research synthesis. So don't just AI your way into this. Please keep finding your patterns manually and only use NotebookLM when you're trying to check if you miss anything or if you don't remember who said what, or if you're trying to find specific things user said, or maybe to help validate some pieces of information. And always verify everything with the sources of information. And this is not a sponsored video, but I really need to say this. NotebookLM gives you a really good user experience when it comes to go back and check your resources or sources of information. Because all these numbers you see here are the direct sources. So if I hover here, for example, I can literally see the piece of the document where this information was taken from, and I can just click it and it will open the actual document on this side. And it highlights the specific part for me. How awesome is that? I just love this. This is an amazing way to verify all your sources of information to see if it's actually accurate. And from here you can save the note, which will appear as is on this side, or what I realistically would do, because honestly this is just too much information, I will create my own note clicking here and add my own insight. So maybe let's say users need an easier way to track goals, maybe make some gamified experience for them, and then I'll save that note for later, maybe for my design solution analysis and the ideation phase. And because I assure you, you'll have a lot of notes if you're doing this the right way. I would already categorize all these notes as I type them, so you can create separate notes, but I would usually just do everything in one. So I will call this maybe goal tracking, and maybe later on I'll keep going and add another category later saying maybe schedules or issues or frustrations or things that people do like so we can keep it on the design, right? And so on. Okay, let's add another question. How many people said they're struggling with schedules? And it immediately gives you the breakdown with all the sources to verify. Now, NotebookLM also gives you some suggestions. Some might be relevant, some are not, but let's try one of these that looks relevant, which is what influences the user's gym attendance. Okay, there's a lot we can dive into here, but let's just check the summary really quick. It says, to summarize the influences, you can think of it as a constant balancing act, much like a seesaw where positive influences, results, accountability, and strong health goals try to outweigh the negative forces, schedule fatigue, and stressful work environments to maintain consistent attendance. Yeah, that really sounds plausible. So let's add another note here. Maybe try making progress more prominent and easier to see up front. And maybe the first thing they see on the homepage. Okay, now let's say a very funny stakeholder tells you, you know what? I think the gym location is a huge pain point for all our users because that area is horrible. Well, guess what we can do now? Let's ask it, how many people mentioned that the gym location is a problem? And the response is, based on the provided user interview transcripts, 0 people mentioned that the gym location is a problem. 0 people, Janice, 0 people. So as you can clearly see, this is so much faster than checking each of the transcripts one by one. I can assure you that. Our next use case is one of the most important activities to understand the bigger picture of the problem, and that is domain research. And NotebookLM can be very powerful here. I know I'm going a bit backwards here, but let's say this fitness app project is with a company called Orange Theory. It's the first time you work with them and you want to learn about them before doing your user research. Let's click here in Add Sources and add documents. Maybe the company sends you some documents and you add them here. Or maybe information they send you in an email. You can even add links here. So let's add a link with this option, and let's say a website, and just copy and paste the links, as many as you like or as many as you have, and they will all appear here. Now let's select our domain research sources and ask away. What about what does Orange Theory Fitness stands up for? And we get a very quick summary of the company. If they ask you to create a web page or maybe a section in the app talking about the value they provide to the community, you could ask something like, how does this company helps the community? And this way you can get a quick summary very fast, and of course verify your sources always, and you just need to hover on these numbers. Another thing you could do, and probably by now you heard it a lot, I heard it a lot, you can create a podcast. Let's say they gave you a huge document and you want to save time and check it out during your commute. You can ask NotebookLM to create a podcast, and it's very easy. You just select the sources you want and click here in this audio overview. Honestly, I haven't even tried the others, but right now I'm just talking about this audio overview. It will take some time though, depending on the document, so you may want to plan ahead if you're in a hurry. So let's just hear part of this podcast.
Is DEI just seen as, like, a cost? Or do they genuinely believe it's core to achieving their mission? Okay, let's unpack this commitment then. Let's start right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Their mission, their vision, and their core values.
Well, the commitment they state is pretty all-encompassing. Orange Theory says it's committed to encouraging, facilitating, and upholding an environment that's centered on DEI across every single facet of the brand. They're aiming for a culture that, supports learning and growth, values, and empowers every employee, and inspires a diverse franchise network.
Imagine how convenient could be to hear all of this during all commute. It's like you have a company consultant just for you, and you can ask him any questions you might have, and it responds instantly, and you don't need to wait 10 business days for a simple email answer. Not anymore. Disclaimer, because yes, everything AI is a whole disclaimer by itself, NotebookLM still has hallucinations. Even if NotebookLM is based only on your sources, at the moment of this recording, we are about 13% of hallucinations by NotebookLM, but you can mitigate this by always checking the references, of course, which is very easy to do here, honestly. Our next NotebookLM use case is something that we usually have minus 30% of the time to create, which is research and design presentations. Here, NotebookLM can help you streamline the creation process, give you a potential structure, and a base draft. So here I have uploaded a summarized version of the final insights. This is information that I would want to use for the presentation, obviously. So let's ask, I'm a UI UX designer that wants to present this summary of these insights to an audience of stakeholders that don't know much about their user pain points. Right, Janice? Can you help me summarize these insights for a presentation in an engaging, storytelling way so I can clearly mention users' pain points and potential solutions to them? After a few minutes, this is what we got. Introduction, our users are ready to fight, but they keep tripping. Wow, I'm actually surprised. This is very good. Challenge 1, the tyranny of the schedule. User pain point, life always wins. The battles against the gym. I love that. Then we have challenge 2, the tracking tags. Then challenge 3, and conclusion. This challenge by challenge structure is fine, but I think there could be better ways to present this information in a more storytelling way. So, another disclaimer here, the presentation will not be perfect, and you most likely need to modify it and tweak it to create a good storytelling sequence, but it can give you a quick first draft of the contents of your presentation that you can expand and refine as needed. Because most of the times, starting with a blank presentation, it takes a lot more time. The fact that NotebookLM can use our own documents as a source, has the ability to add notes, and even show us references in such a friendly way, makes this tool worth being in any UX designer's toolkit. Let me know what you think about this tool and if you use it in any other ways so we can all learn from each other. AI tools are here to save us time, and if you use Figma and you have not taken full advantage of all the amazing AI features, watch this video next.